Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Start Some of the podcast. I basically just wanted to make this episode kind of more like a freestyle. I do like to plan a lot of my content just to make sure it's really, expressed in the right way, like as in I get everything out that I want to say. But I just want to create a bit of a different episode today. I'm honestly not too sure what's going to come out, but there's just a few things that I guess I really want to share and talk about, because I know that I'm definitely not the only one feeling these things, and I know that so many people listening to this will really resonate as well. And basically, long story short, I guess like a small, kind of like a huge actual life update, to be honest. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I was in the beautiful Whitsundays the past week. It was such a really just relaxing and rejuvenating holiday. It was really, really needed, because you may have also seen on my Insta stories, I think I put it up a few weeks ago as well, that I was sharing I was about to basically do something that was a huge decision. It was something that I didn't really want to do, but I had to do. And it kind of makes me a bit sad thinking about it, because it was so good before and then it just turned to shit. And basically what I'm talking about here, you're probably like, what is she on about? What I'm talking about is I had to resign from my job. And if you've been following my journey for a while, I'm sure in season 2, I definitely spoke about this, how I manifested this, what I thought was like this amazing job. It was really like right up my alley in terms of what it was. So it was a marketing and coaching agency. As you know, getting into coaching is definitely a goal of mine. I have almost there. I've also got so much more to share, but basically it was really awesome to get that experience, to be on the back end of a coaching agency and work in the marketing team there. And it was really, really sad that it got to a point where I had to resign, because the place itself was beyond toxic, and it wasn't the team. It was such great people, such a fun, outgoing group of guys and girls, and we got along so well. And if anything, this whole experience has made us so much closer, and it's so great that I've made such great friends with so many people there. So the team, shout out to anyone who's listening, they are just, we get along really well. They're really, really great people. But it was more so the management and just kind of everything else in between. And it just really sucked that it got to the point of having to resign. And, you know, if I didn't resign anytime soon, like I would have been let go. So that was really just the pattern that was happening there. Like I was there for 6 months and I saw 6 people come and go. Like that's a person month. Like that's a pretty intense high turnover of staff. So yeah, just being in that environment was really, really, really shit. The last 2 months definitely became the worst, because there was only myself and 3 other girls left. So me and the marketing team, and it all just got to our mental health so much. I really think it affected all of us in one way or another. And yeah, I remember just having like, towards the end of it, like I was having such bad weeks, like probably the last 2 weeks. I'd never felt just so low before. And it's funny, like you go in a job for security. So mostly that's like financial security, right? But it's like, yeah, I had financial security. I was making decent money. But I was like, I don't feel secure in myself being here. I don't feel secure when my last day is going to be, or when they're going to pull the plug on something, or like my mental health didn't feel secure. I didn't feel confident in my work, and like just, it was just an icky place. It was just the ick. And I had to let it go. And it was such a hard decision, because like resigning from a job, I don't know, it's tough. Like, yeah, like, you know, when I tell people, they all say congratulations. And, you know, like I tell them the circumstances, they're like, yes, your mental health is so important. You have to let that go, which I know wholeheartedly. Like I have a whole podcast on self-development and mental health. Like I'm so aware of that kind of stuff. So I think the fact that I was so aware and I was able to see that it was just like draining me, and I just didn't feel myself for such a long time. And I was like, man, like I honestly forgot what I'm like, and I forgot how to just feel happy again in work and everything. And yeah, it really, really sucked. So long story short, I'm out of that place. I've moved on. I went on an incredible Whitsundays holiday, which was like the perfect like cleanse after such like a toxic few months. And I'm back feeling really refreshed, but I'm back with no job. And that is kind of really scary as well, because I've been in this position before. At the start of the year, or at the end of 2020, I resigned from my previous job. So this kind of feels a little bit like deja vu, which kind of sucks. But I feel like I've always still had this same desire in my heart, and that is to go off and do my own thing. I know so many of us want to work for ourselves, have that flexibility, that time freedom, that ownership of our own schedule. I know so many of us want that, which is awesome. But I want it so bad, I'm going to make it happen. And that was the reason why I resigned my job in 2020. Basically, I just wasn't really learning anything else, and I knew it was ready for my next chapter. And that was a super hard decision as well. However, that happened. I moved on. It was, I reckon I had the whole of summer off, which looking back was really, really, really amazing. Like I had 3 months off. I worked hard on my podcast. I really just figured out what I wanted to do in terms of marketing and where I wanted to go. I applied for a couple of jobs, got rejected. And then this job that I just left came into my life, and yeah, I got approached by them, and within 1 week I was starting, and it all just seemed to work out so perfectly. So it's been a roller coaster actually looking back to think that I'm back in this position. However, I guess I have this whole new mindset, and I have this whole new level of confidence in myself, and that yes, like we can't always know what our next step is, and that's where you really just have to, I don't know, do what you think is best for you in that moment. Because looking back on when I was at the start of the year, yes, I let go of this job, and I was making the space, and I was figuring out who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. And I really just surprised myself with what I came up with. And I never thought I would want a full-time marketing job. And that's what I fell into for over 6 months. And it was, 8 till 5, like it was long hours. But in the moment, it didn't faze me at all, because I was just enjoying myself so much. And I worked with such great people, and I really enjoyed the work I was doing. So that just didn't faze me. And then it's funny, like all of that just kind of got taken away. And I don't know, like I guess I looked at that as the universe was really just giving me this push to be like, this is what you want to do. Like you want to work for yourself. You have to go out and make that happen. And I guess where I'm going with this whole story, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, don't worry. Basically, I remember I had a really bad day at work, and I reached out to my friend Carlo. You may have heard me talk about him before. He is an incredible friend of mine and also a mentor that I worked with at the start of the year. Anyway, and I really trust him. So throughout this whole time, I was talking to all the people that I trust. I was talking to my friends, my family, and I reached out to Carlo in particular, and I told him the story, and I was like, look, I don't know what to do. Like I really just wanted to hear other people's ideas, not because I couldn't think of my own way, but I really value the people in my life who I trust, and I really value what they have to say, because I know they want the best for me, even when sometimes I can't see what that may be. Anyway, point is, I reached out to him and told him my whole sitch and what I wanted to do, and how I was just lost and confused, and just the thought of applying for another marketing job, that just did not light me up. That just did not get my heart going. That did not keep me up at night. I resented doing it. I did not want to sit there. And I remember it took me so long to update my CV, my cover letter, my LinkedIn profile. And I was like, oh, this isn't me. This is not me. I can't just go into another marketing job and just have another marketing position and just continue on in life. Like that is just not me. And I just felt if I was doing that, I was cheating on myself. And like, fuck that. I'm putting myself first here. And I'm in this pivotal point in my life. Like I think I'm still young. I'm 24. I have such a great life here in Adelaide. I've got such incredible friends and family members, and I'm really just attracting all the right people and places and things into my life. And I was like, I can't just go into another marketing job. It's just not what I want to do. And the thought, like I knew that so intensely inside of me, and that scared the shit out of me, because I was like, holy fuck, I know what I want to do. That's go out on my own and create my own business and explore all these other endeavors and business ideas that I'm constantly having. Like my brain is just constantly ticking. I'm always thinking of new ideas, like the amount of things I want to create and like products and services, and it's huge, and it scares the shit out of me, because who am I to do all this stuff? And that's where I really do get in my own head at times. And, that's what overthinking is. Like, I find if I'm talking this out to somebody else, I realize it's not as scary as what I think it is. But if I'm in my head, I'm driving, I'm thinking about this, I'm in my room, I'm just by myself, it scares the actual shit out of me. I'm like, fuck, I want to do so much, but who am I to do all these things? Anyway, off on the tangent here. But basically, I reached out to Carlo. I think I've said this about 4 times. And he came back to me. And this was the universe literally delivering what I had manifested to my lap straight away. So I posted on my Insta stories as well. So I set goals, as you guys probably know. And I set a monthly goal in the month of August. And I said by September, this was, just a bit of context, this was when work was starting to become really, really bad. So it wasn't in the pit of badness yet, but it was definitely about to go down. So I wrote down, I was like, I want to be able to resign from my job by September, but I want to be able to have that full-time income supporting me. Because I was like, I've done the whole resigning thing with no job. I'm 24, I can't be acting like that anymore. I want to resign, but I want to still fulfill my full-time income. And I was like, how the actual fuck am I going to do that? The income I was on a decent paying marketing job, I'm like, how? Like, I did not even know how that was going to happen. No clue. But I was like, fuck it. I'm writing it down. I'm going to make it happen and we'll see. So basically, I had been working my butt off all throughout June, July, August, September. I mean, even now, I did dry July. I'm going to do a whole episode on dry July. But basically, in that time, I became so laser focused, so motivated. I was so clear on what I wanted to achieve. I think we're in a bit of a lockdown as well in Adelaide. So, I wasn't socializing as much. I didn't have alcohol in my system. I was exercising so much. I was eating so healthy. I was literally living my best life in lockdown. And during that time, I was working so hard on my business, on Start Somewhere, on my podcast, on all of my plans. And the thing is, everything that I learned from my previous job, I worked at a coaching agency. So I was like, this is literally every tool I need. I can just implement, I can copy and paste, I can alter to how I need for Start Somewhere. And so I worked so hard, really just filtering out and figuring out what I wanted my brand to be, where I wanted to go, what services I wanted to provide, products, everything, absolutely everything. I had so much fun. It was like such a geeky thing, but I loved it. So I got really clear and I was like, okay, I want to do so much. How do I do this? And so anyway, I had this goal written down and I was like, okay, I need some help here. How am I going to do this? And classic me, I reached out to somebody for another mentor. So I honestly, every time I reach out to somebody for a mentor, yes, it's a big sum of money, but what I get back is tenfold. And I reached out to a girl called Emma Norris, and she runs the blog, A Girl in Progress. And the tip for finding mentors is finding somebody who's in a position that you want to be in the future, basically. So I did that with Georgie Stevenson, I did that with Carlo, and now with Emma. So I reached out to Emma, and I remember it would have just been one night, late at night, and it was just, I'm so impulsive. And I was like, so context as well. So with Emma, when I was 21, so I've been following her and her blog and that kind of stuff for a really long time. So I really know, I know her. I know a lot about her journey and her business and her brand, and I absolutely love everything she does. And I really just want to follow a similar path. Anyway, so when I was 21, I don't even know how I found this, maybe Instagram or maybe just on the internet. So I was in uni and she had a post up from her blog saying, hey, I'm looking for freelance blog writers. And I was like, I could do that. 21 in uni, never written a blog before. I was like, I'm going to do this. So I reached out to her and I wrote a blog, which was all about, oh my God, what was it? It was the 4 tips to having the best day ever or something like that. I read it. I read it a while ago and I was like, this is so typical 21-year-old me. Really positive, really just hopeful. And it was really cool. Anyway, so I guess I kind of had that network, that connection with her in the past. And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I've seen you offer coaching, just wondering if this is still available, blah, blah, blah. Can I find out some more info? By the way, do you remember me? I wrote an article on your blog 3 years ago. And she replied back instantly. She's like, hey, yes, of course I remember you. And it's really cool. She had kind of been following me as well. She knew about my podcast. So we're both kind of knew of each other as the years had gone by. See, everyone you meet has something to teach you or to give you. So there's that. Anyway, reached out to her and basically signed up to coaching with her. So I was like, if I want to get to my next level, I need that help from somebody. So I started working with her really closely. And I'm still working with her now. So I'm doing a 3-month mentor program with her. I think it wraps up soon, which is kind of sad. But anyway, I always find so much value when I work with mentors because it really just, like I can get there in my own time, but this just like triples it. You know, like I remember when I started working with her, I was planning to release the 3rd season of my podcast in September. So at the start of September. And she's like, just do it earlier. Like I had everything ready. I had 4 episodes prepared. I was so ahead in everything, but I was like, no, I want to wait. And she's like, there's no need to wait. Just do it now. And I did it now and I don't regret it because I've already seen so many opportunities come my way just from releasing those episodes earlier. Anyway, back to where I was going. I really just went off here. So I had this goal of resigning from my job. And like I mentioned as well at the start, a big goal of mine is to be a mentor, be a coach, be a mindset coach. And I feel like I was really playing this small for such a long time, honestly, up until a month ago. So ages and ages. And I think it could have been self-sabotage. I guess me thinking like, who am I to do this? But I really just, I knew in my heart it's what I wanted to do. But I also told myself this limiting belief that I'm too young. Who am I to be a coach? Like, do I even have enough life experiences? Am I too young? And all this kind of like, yeah, when I'm older, maybe I'll do it. But I'm like, why? That's just a made up thought that's blocking me from getting to that goal. And as soon as I banish that limiting belief, Carlo comes in, the universe comes in, and Carlo offers me a position to be a mentor as part of his mentor program. And when he sent this to me, I was sitting in my car. I just got home from work. It was a Monday. It was shit weather. I sent him a voice message. He replied back and he basically just offered me this position. And I remember in that moment what it felt like. And it was just the most like intense but amazing, overwhelming feeling because I was like, oh my God, I manifested this to a T. And he talked about pay and he said how much I'd get for each client and blah, blah, blah. And I did the maths and I was like, oh my God, this is got to fulfill my full-time income from my marketing job. So basically what I would make if I was still at my marketing job from now until the end of the year is what I will make from this mentorship program with Carlo from now until the end of the year. And I remember just like I was speechless. I was like, oh my God, I need to go back inside and see that I actually wrote this down because is this true? And it was before September. It was towards the end of August, and this had happened. And that's when I realized manifesting, it is more than writing things down. It is hard work, but it is self-confidence and belief that you are going to achieve these things. And it's dropping the how. I wrote that down and I was like, how the actual fuck am I going to be able to get this income? Like, yeah, becoming a coach could be a little bit more possible, but actually sustaining that, like replacing that with that income, like how on earth is that going to happen? And it did. And it happened. And it came into my life and I resigned from my job the week after and I went on my trip to the Whitsundays and now I'm back here recording and I'm still feeling a little bit uneasy because I don't have that quote unquote financial security, that income, that same income coming in every week. This is a whole new territory I'm exploring right now, but it feels different because at the start of the year, it was the same. It was unknown. It was unknown territory. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was in my head. I was like, who am I to do any of this stuff? And it's like I just wasn't really ready to do that because in myself, I wasn't ready. And I've honestly changed as a person so much since the start of the year as well. And I feel like now is the time. Now I'm ready. And that's because I believe now is the time and now I'm ready. I could so easily fall back into old patterns because they're quote unquote comfortable and be like, oh, it's too scary. Like, I'm just going to push my goals and desires down and I'm just going to go apply for a job or whatever it is that you are making up as the easier option. Because what I found is it's a shit show before it gets better. Because life is not always this straight line or this straight up line. It's down, it's straight, it's up, it's all flowy. Like it's life, it's flowy. And looking back, every time it's shit, every time it's like down, it's always just about to get so great. And when I look back, the month of like June, July, August, like it was low, like it was really fucking low. And now, end of August, September, October, November, December, I'm putting it out there, the rest of, hopefully for a much longer time, I know it's going to be up because I'm following the path I'm supposed to be on. And what I'm so excited about is I am fulfilling a huge goal of mine. I am going to be hosting, I'm going to be holding space for group mentoring. I'm going to be mentoring a group of people, and that just makes my heart so full. I'm going to be helping people one-on-one and working with them and connecting and talking and sharing and growing and doing all that stuff with people. And that's just what I want to do so badly in my life. And I had to let go of something that was a safety net in order for it to come in. I had to let go of something that was such a scary decision to do, that was so out of society's norms. I had to let go of that and be in this uncomfortable, unknown space and feel lost and feel a bit confused in order for this to come into my life. Because when you close one door, so many more doors can open. But sometimes those other opportunities or experiences or people can't come into your life if you are holding space for the shit that is no longer serving you. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to share in this episode. I don't want this to be too long and rambly, but I really wanted to share that with you because, yeah, I put up content that can look really polished and put together and glamorous and structured and all that kind of stuff. But like, end of the day, I am going through shit just as much as the next person, and I'm doing my absolute best to navigate through it just as much as the next person. I don't have all the answers and tools. I just find them the best I can. I talk to people that I trust. I listen to podcasts that motivate and inspire me and open my eyes. I read books. I do all the shit we're supposed to do. I eat healthy. I exercise. Like, I do all the shit we should do. And I'm still just trying to navigate just as much as the next person. So I really hope you got something just from me talking in this episode, just from me sharing my story, sharing what's been going on in the last couple months. And there will be so much more about my mentoring. I will be releasing a lot more very, very soon. I'm in the middle of my training at the moment, which is super exciting. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what else will come out of this podcast and out of this brand, because Start Somewhere really is so special to me, and it's really special to build a brand from nothing and to really turn it into a extension of myself. Like, Start Somewhere really is an extension of who I am and my personality, and really just having the perfect blend of being a real meditation, wellness, Zen person crossed with somebody who's really outgoing and loves adventure and meeting people and having a really great time, basically. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you got to the end of this episode, I really appreciate your support. It's so awesome to know that I have a really quality group of people who are really just great supporters. Like, it's so, I've always said like quality is more important than quantity, and it's so special to me that I have a real quality group of female listeners who are just supporting me and who just, they just get me. And you guys listen to me ramble, and I appreciate that so much. See you guys.